Morning in the Fair's house began without a word. Miriam stood by the stove, stirring oatmeal. Behind her, rustling sounds of her sisters getting ready for school. Upstairs, the cough of their mother. She hadn't gotten up again. "Mama? Are you coming down?" Miriam called out, but no answer came. They were used to it. Their mother spent more time lying in bed than living. The sisters kissed Miriam quickly and rushed out the door. Miriam watched them go and thought, "Hold on, Mama. I'll get through this. I'll find a way. And we'll live differently." Her phone buzzed. "Lilia, you coming or should I find someone else?" The cafe owner was as blunt as a hammer. Miriam sighed, grabbed her bag, and opened the door. On the doorstep stood Kemal, the neighbor who always seemed too close. "You've got tired eyes," he said. "It's because my whole life is tired," Miriam replied, not looking at him. "And I'm late." "Wait," he called after her, but she had already disappeared around the corner. The cafe greeted her with noise and the hiss of the coffee machine. Lilia waved her over. "You're late." "Mama had another rough morning," Miriam replied shortly. She slipped into her role without thinking, smiles for customers, managing orders, unpacking deliveries. But her thoughts were far away, in the university halls where she studied to become a TV presenter. That dream felt as distant as a star on the horizon. At noon, Kemal came in. He often stopped by. Sometimes he just read a book, sometimes he brought Miriam coffee. Today, he sat by the window and watched her. Lilia noticed and whispered with a grin, "You've got an admirer." "He's just a neighbor," Miriam brushed it off. But suddenly, Kemal stood up and walked over. "Miriam," he began. "Don't," she interrupted. "I can't. My life is about family and debt. Not love." He fell silent. And didn't say another word. That evening, when Miriam came home, her sisters were watching TV. Their mother hadn't left her bed. "Are you okay, Mama?" "Just tired," came a barely audible voice from the dark room. Miriam didn't push. She knew, it wasn't just tiredness. It was an illness. Depression had wrapped around her mother like fog. Later, after everyone had fallen asleep, Miriam opened her laptop. The website of the TV channel. Careers section. A new posting, assistant to the secretary. Requirements, organization, communication skills, and a love for media. She nearly closed the page, but instead filled out the application. The next morning, she received an email, "We invite you to an interview at 3 p.m. Her heart skipped a beat. She took a day off from Lilia, light about family matters, and went. Nervous, wearing her modest coat. In the waiting room, men in suits, women with perfect makeup. Miriam sat there like in someone else's dream, surrounded by confidence and brands, but inside, afraid of being nobody. "Miriam Fairs?" She stood up. "Come in." The office was unexpectedly cozy. By the window stood a man in his 30s, holding a cup of coffee. He turned and smiled. "You're Miriam? Have a seat." She was surprised. He didn't introduce himself, but spoke calmly, informally. Miriam sat down, trying to steady her nerves. "You're studying to become a TV presenter?" "Yes." "And working too?" "I'm a cafe administrator." He nodded. "You're not afraid of the pressure?" "I'm afraid of staying stuck in this life. That's what I'm afraid of." The man paused for a second, then stepped closer. "I'm Alan. A friend of the director. I help with selection sometimes. I like you. You're real. That's rare around here." Miriam was speechless. "Thank you." He smiled. "Our secretary is on sick leave. Want to help out temporarily? You'll get a sense of how things work." Miriam nodded faintly. This was her chance. The temporary job with Alan stretched into weeks. Carrie, a staff member from the department, helped her settle in. Miriam studied, worked, spun like a top. Alan started inviting her to meetings, briefings, even filming sessions. He listened to her. He saw more than just an assistant in her. He didn't try to rescue her, he believed she could make it on her own and simply stayed close. And Kemal. He waited. One day, he came to their door again, holding a bouquet. I know you're busy. But I just need to hear, is there even a tiny chance? Miriam lowered her eyes. Kemal, you're the best person I know. But my heart has already made its choice. He nodded. Without resentment. I understand. I'm leaving. Far away. To start over. I'm sorry I kept hoping. She hugged him. You'll always be part of my life. That night, she stood on the balcony with Alan. The city buzzed with lights below them. Are you ready for a new chapter? He asked. Miriam nodded. I was born to fight. But now I want to live. For the first time, she truly believed she could. Miriam disappeared around the corner. Kemal still stood by the entrance. He didn't call after her. Didn't follow. He just stayed, like his love remained. He stood for a long time, looking at the house, then at the windows of his own apartment. And when the day finally faded, he turned and walked away. Slowly. Without anger. Without hope. Meanwhile, Miriam stood on the balcony. The evening city scattered lights and noise below her feet. Alan silently handed her a cup of coffee. They stood in silence. Do you think I can do this? She asked softly. You already are, he answered, not looking away. Miriam looked into the distance. Below, life rushed by, windows blinked, cars honked. And in her chest, for the first time in a long time, there was peace. She had made her choice. And let go of everything that had held her for too long. 2 months passed. Kemal no longer wrote. Her sisters missed him, and her mother asked about him less and less. And Miriam. She walked the halls of the TV channel, now in her new role. She was still studying but confidently carried folders, helped carry with tasks, and was invited more and more often to the filming sets. She was getting used to her new life, one where there was room for dreams, where she wasn't just surviving but growing. Where her voice finally sounded on the air. Alan waited for her by the exit, as always, with a smile and a cup of coffee. Ready for a new day? He asked. She nodded, taking his hand. Ready. Behind them, the doors of the past closed. Ahead, light. Though unknown. Miriam had not forgotten where she came from. She called her mother every evening, helped Lilia, the cafe owner, with the baby, and taught her youngest sister to dream boldly. Kemal never came back, but stayed in her memory. A bright chapter she read with gratitude. He left. Without reproach. Without goodbyes. Sometimes love means letting go. Alan stayed, not as a rescue, but as a choice. And the city kept living. Just like she did. And when someone says, your eyes are glowing, she answers, it's not light. It's silence. For the first time in a long time, there's no pain inside. Miriam Fair's story continues. But you already know. She will make it.